terrible news story that's all over social media, and I think our own Mariam Namazi has been talking about it a lot.
Yeah.
There's this young Iranian woman, and how people in the West think that Islam that hijab empowers women. This is how they show you. This is what they tell us. What Westerners think of hijab versus the reality of hijab. And I think Nuria would tell you who this young woman is and what's the terrible story behind that.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's really tragic. Let's just read the news article together, and then we can. And I think, honestly, just delving into this, like, travesty.
It's very distressing.
I think you want to. I mean, I think I would sincerely want to dedicate this to all the Western feminists out there. Honestly, please understand what has happened here before you come out in defense of hijab. Because, yeah, well, let's take a look at what happens. So, Mahsa Amini, who's 22 years old, died on Friday, days after eyewitnesses said she was beaten in a police van in Tehran, allegations denied by the police. Some women at the ceremony reportedly removed their headscarves in protest at the compulsory wearing of hijabs. Mourners chanted, "Death to the dictator," with videos showing police later firing on a crowd. The funeral took place in Miss Amini's hometown, Sakez, in the western province of Kurdistan. According to videos published on social media, locals gathered very early in the morning to prevent Iranian security forces rushing through the burial in secret to avoid protests. Reports suggested that some angry protesters marched toward the local governor's office to protest about the death. According to videos received and verified by the BBC Persian service, the security forces opened fire on protesters.
So this is a video where you can see that people are protesting and people are just coming out in solidarity with late Mahsa Amini. The funeral turned into a scene of large protests, as confirmed by the BBC as well. And this, as you can see, more footage of the protests in our hometown of Sakez, Kurdistan province. Women take their headscarves off. Now, do you want to? I want to know if those Western liberal women do they want to go? Do they dare go in that crowd and say, no, hold on, please keep your hijab on. We know more about your religion. Hijab empowers women, so please keep it on. I wonder what these women will do to those leftists. Hijab is a symbol of freedom and whatever.
Yeah, especially as like a woman. Imagine like you're fighting the fight for, let's say, let's hope, intersectional feminism, right? So that doesn't mean that when you go to that country, you just drape a shawl over your head and say, that's their culture and I'm going to respect it. You actually, the whole point of intersectional feminism is that it's feminism across the board. You take into account the experiences of women from various backgrounds and marginalized women, and you listen to those voices and you build it together as an inclusive movement of empowerment. How can you do that when what these women are fighting for day in, day out, risking their lives for, which we barely see any change happening? I'm so scared the stories like this come out, like it gathers like world attention, and then it just ends up as part of the news cycle. The news cycle continues and we don't see any visible change, and we see no cause for concern for Western feminists to reassess their views. And I just don't know what it's going to take for those women to actually confront the issues and say, hang on a second, there is something called the White Wednesday protests in Iran. They've been going on for quite a while now. And what's the reason behind it? Why are these women protesting? Why is their camera their weapon? Why are they answering back to these mullahs and these clerics? Why is Iran doing some shady things, like the way that the technology that they're bringing in now to monitor if women are wearing their hijab properly? I've heard rumors about that. I mean, the control and the coercion is just getting so so regressive for women, and from the top down, like from the state level, and no one's there to listen to the shouts and screams of these women. Same thing in Afghanistan, same thing in Saudi Arabia, same thing in a bunch of these countries. Like they fall on deaf ears.
Yeah, that's exactly the same. The same things happening in Afghanistan as well. And you made a very good point that these people are doing that. That their only weapons are cameras, and these are very brave people that they're doing that in the face of this extreme violence that they can face, and they can literally die, as you can see what happened with Mahsa Amini. But when we do the same thing here in the West, where we supposedly have freedom of speech, we get shut down, we get cancelled. So we hear the shrieks of Islamophobia. You and I still can talk about it a little bit because our skin color does come to our rescue for a little bit. But if a genuine white person, a genuine liberal person who values human dignity and freedom of expression and freedom of choice, they get cancelled. That's why people like Dawkins and all these people, they've just given up. They say, well, they don't talk about it. And why would they? Why should they? Like, I mean, it's just this. Yeah, it's not their fault. I mean, it's not their fight. I mean, look at this woman. She was arrested and she was beaten up in police custody. I mean, imagine what would have happened behind those closed doors. Like, you've got the woman. Yeah, you intimidated and harassed her. You've told her this is it. Yeah, how dare you stand up to our authority? How dare you take off this hijab? But no, that's not where they stopped. They kept beating her. They beat her so much that she had an internal bleeding. I think her brain had swollen, and as a result, she died. Just imagine this butchery of these people. So when they are in power, they beat them up. When they're not in power, outside in these free Western countries, then they cry Islamophobia. That is the reality of it.
There were also reports of injuries and arrests in videos published on Twitter. Security forces can be seen guarding the governor's office and arresting protesters trying to get close to the building. A picture of Miss Amini's gravestone was published on social media. It reads, "You didn't die. Your name will be a code. Rallying call." Miss Amini was arrested on Tuesday by the morality police for allegedly not complying with the strict dress code on head coverings. According to eyewitnesses, she was beaten while inside a police van and slipped into a coma later. Iranian police denied the allegations, saying she had suffered a sudden heart failure.
Yeah, you can see her face is swollen up. Yeah, that was a heart failure. Yeah, right.
Ebrahim Raisi, Iran's hardline president, has asked the Ministry of Interior to launch an investigation into the death. Qasra Hospital in northern Tehran said in a statement that Miss Amini was admitted on 13th September showing, quote-unquote, no vital signs. The statement was later removed from the hospital's social media after hardline social media accounts accused hospital staff of being anti-regime agents. Iranian TV also aired CCTV footage of Miss Amini under arrest. Human rights activists accused state TV of censoring the footage to create a false story. According to NetBlocks, a watchdog organization that monitors cybersecurity and internet governance, the internet connection had been disrupted in various locations in Iran since news of Miss Amini's death came out, including in the capital Tehran and Saqqez. Many users said they could not upload videos on Instagram or send content over WhatsApp. Iranian state-controlled Sharq newspaper reported that Tehran's very low internet speed disrupted the stock market on Saturday.
Yeah, so you can see that. So there's a shortage of there's a sudden drop in the internet usage because Iran is a cowardly regime, and that's what they always do. They shut down because people are mobilizing, people are planning protests, and that's just. I mean, that's the woman. She's not alive anymore, poor girl.
And Horace, I'm sorry, but you have to say, like, especially for people like us, when we talk about Islam and like we talk about it actively, and we delve into like the stories of like how hijab came about and why we actually form the conclusion that women, if she has a woman who has a complete fair choice to wear it, if it is completely a free and fair choice, that's a different story. But genuinely, my position is that it always be against the hijab because of the very nature of how it came about, right? And was ordered in Islam. It wasn't even Allah, it wasn't even Muhammad, it was Umar. But when I see like tragedies like this, it's like how many more women are gonna have to die? Like her death, Like
Look at this.
every
This
single
is how they
person.
arrest them, Nuria. This is how they arrest them.
I know, it's horrible. I can't even watch it. Honestly, I actually haven't. I can't. But yeah, I'm saying every single person who, like, from Muhammad, from Omar, from wherever it came out, when you see the death toll that is attributed to Islam, it's not just people killed in terrorist attacks. It's not just, like honor killings within the family. Ironically, regimes like Iran have something called the morality police, which go around beating people to death. If that's not ironic, I don't know what is. But like, yeah, all of this, the Islamic ideology in itself has so much blood on its hands. And this poor woman was its recent victim.
Yeah.
And by next Sunday, how many other more victims would we talk about, Harris, that have also fallen to this ideology?
Yeah, it's just
Ridiculous.
going to keep on going. It's just going to keep on going.
Got to pluck Islam right out. If you like these videos and want to support me in my activism, then you can support me on Patreon or PayPal. Stay free, everyone.